is Gare again. Good morning, paddlers. Although it's almost noon. Not quite. This is Gary in beautiful Bayona Creek, Los Angeles. Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey, and another crap video coming at you from the California Center for Research on Advanced Paddling. And the question today is, how short is too short? Okay, in terms of paddling. So I'm paddling my Epic small mid-wing paddle. Should have blade surfaces of 735 square centimeters, and it is designed to be 205 to 215 centimeters overall length. Now I've been paddling upon the recommendation of our friend Tommy. Got myself a Jantex Baby Gamma with just 600 square centimeter blades and 190 to 200 centimeters long. I've been paddling at just the shortest length, 180, and it feels really good. So the question is, I want to try even shorter and see, is there a point where clearly short is too short? Now, this is my Epic, as I mentioned, small mid-wing. I've overlapped the blades, I put taper on them. So this now overall length is 180 centimeters from blade tip to blade tip. And I want to see if this looks too short. Now, one of the limitations is going to be my elbow angle. As you can see, to get 90 degrees here, I think you can see the mirror. I'll put my hand down, but 90 degrees, my hand is right at the throat of the paddle blade. So if I go any shorter, I'll have to come in, make that less than 90 degrees, which may or may not be a problem. But what I'm looking for here now is something that obviously says that this is too short. And if I can't find that, I'm going to go shorter. I'm going to try 175 and then 170 until it's clearly too short. So what are the things I'm looking for? Certainly I want to make sure I get the blade completely in the water. And hopefully you can see that from the front camera. Because if it's too short and I can't get the blade all the way in, that's no good. The other thing, just a basic good wing paddle stroke. I want to get it really close to the boat on the catch. And I can check that just by smacking the edge. I have some protection there on the boat, and then back off. I call that smacking back, to make sure you're getting really close to the boat. And I want to make sure paddle is going both back and away from the boat at a good angle, similar to the bow wave angle. And I want to try to keep my top hand about eye level throughout the stroke without pushing the blade down. So that means I have a high vertical angle and I'm keeping it. I'm not doing this, which I see even elite paddlers do, because that means that either they're losing the angle as the top hand comes down, or they're sticking the blade further in the water, which doesn't make any sense. So, according to my understanding of the hydrodynamics, the wing blade should work best when it's as most vertical as you can get it. All right? You want it pulling you forward, sort of like an airplane rotated 90 degrees. All right? So we can't quite achieve that with the current design of the wing paddle, but we can keep that angle as vertical as we can, as long as it doesn't screw anything else up in terms of the biomechanics of the stroke. So I have my mirror, and hopefully you can see that from my head-mounted camera as to what my top arm looks like. So, to what extent does this look like a decent stroke? Other thing I'm interested in is the stroke rate. My stroke rate tends to be slow, and I want to speed that up a little bit. Right now it's 74 strokes per minute, which is pretty slow. Even marathon paddlers are competing are up to 90. Sprinters are, oh, forget about it. 120. So how does it look? I am paddling into a headwind. Sort of a surprisingly late midday offshore breeze. So I'm only going 5.3 miles an hour with my heart rate 127. That'll change when I turn around. And I should have a higher stroke rate. So let's see what this looks like. As I turn around, I'll also mention that made some changes to the first time I tried a midget epic adapted paddle. I think this sounds good this way. And that is, first time I overlapped the blades like this, I had one on top of each other with the blade in this orientation. And having one hand on the drive, not lined up with the blade on the other side, gave some little funky torque. So I changed that, and you can see now that I have one behind the other. My right paddle is actually forward, further away from me than my left blade shaft. And that feels good. It does screw up the symmetry in terms of reaching forward. I would imagine changes my rotation a tiny bit, but I don't really feel it, and I don't feel any torque on the blade. Also, I changed the tape. Last time I used Gorilla tape, which is really sticky and strong, but when I took it off, it removed some of the gel coat on my shaft, so I didn't like that. So this is a tape that is less sticky. It's advertised as having no residual to it, so that you should be able to take it off and not leave any goo behind, and hopefully leave all the gel coat. We will see. And I put these are bicycle toe straps from back in the AA day when we had toe clips and straps, and you can still get these, and I use those to set the blade at the distance and orientation I want. There's no feather, I don't use feather, and I tighten them up and then use it like a jig, and then I wrap the tape around, and I just kept them on here because it can only add a little bit to the strength of the connection. Okay, so let's go with the wind a little bit. Gonna get some of the water out. And again, I'm using the mirror so I can see. I'm really trying to keep that top hand high throughout the stroke. Let me close my baler door. How does this look? Am I getting the blade completely in the water? Actually, I can test that by putting my hand right down at the throat. The blade starts, and my hand's going in the water. So the blade has to be going completely in. Maybe that's one advantage of having such a short paddle. Okay, I'm going 7 miles an hour now with the breeze. And I'm doing almost close to 80. I got 78 stroke rate. See if I can get it up to 80. .5 miles an hour. Yeah, that's 82. That's fast for me. Okay, and I'm at 132 heart rate, which is about 10 above my target for an MAF paddle. Let me bring it back to 120. I think I'm going to need smaller blades to make it possible for me to paddle faster stroke rate without going out of my MAF. Like my baby Jantex is just 600 centimeters squared each blade. This is 735. Now I can't make my baby Jantex really much smaller than 180 or 190. It's 190 to 200 centimeters. So again, I'm trying to do everything right here. Good rotation. Get the blade in close to the boat. Fully submerged. Backing out to the side. I don't fret about how long it is on my cruising stroke. I don't fret about downward pressure unless I want to sprint. Catch a wave, then I certainly must add some downward pressure. Also, you can see the strap around my hull to hold the mirror is going to slow me down a little bit. So we'll see what that looks like. Oh, I should also mention this is 180 centimeters end to end. I am 5'10", which is like 178.7, almost 179 centimeters tall. So this is just a tiny bit taller, longer than my height. So I'll get some pictures of that, and I want to compare this to the other heights I've been using. Okay, so I am going to head back to the ramp here. I think I'm doing pretty good keeping the top hand up. Now something feels like it's dragging. I think I picked up some garbage. I don't know. We will see. Okay. Going to switch the paddle over to the baby Jantex over at the ramp.